up? What up? Welcome to Mr. Brown's class, where there's no whining and no complaining. Today we're solving problems using scientific notation. Now, we've talked about scientific notation, all right, and the reason that we have scientific notation is for very large numbers and very small numbers. Okay, you're going to learn that a lot of things that you deal with math are going to cross over into science. And when we're dealing with very large numbers, like distances to planets, right, or very small things like sizes of atoms, right, that you're going to have either very large numbers or very small that aren't going to fit into a calculator. So we need this other language, all right, and it's always one number, then a decimal, right, and then non-zeros after the decimal, unless the zero is in front of a non-zero. Okay. Now, on this side, we're going to be multiplying. All right, multiplying two things in scientific notation. Right, and so we're going to use, since all this is going to be multiplied, we're going to use the associative property. So we can do 1.2 times 4. Right, which is 4.8, and we can do 10 to the 4th times 10 to the 8th, and we know with exponents we're going to add the exponents when we're multiplying the bases. Right, so this is going to be 4.8 times 10 to the 12th power. Now, we don't have to do anything with the decimal because it's already in scientific notation. We're going to find out in a little bit that we're going to have to change the decimal around. But remember, one number, a decimal, then all the non-zeros. Okay, this one. All right, pause it and see if you can do this one on your own. Okay, so we're going to do 1.2 times 3.0, but we don't need to put 3.0 because we're just going to waste time. Remember that 3.0 is the same as 3, right? So this ends up being 36. There's one decimal place, so 3.6. Again, it's in scientific notation already, all right? The decimal is, all right? And then we're going to add the exponents, 10 to the 5th power, okay? All right, now this one, if we take 4, remember we don't have to do the 0, right, times 5, we get 20. Now this is not in scientific notation. We'll talk about that in a second. And we're going to add the exponents, so 20 times 10 to the 9th power. Now, remember, the decimal needs to be after the first number, so we have to put it right there. So it's 2.0. Right, now when we move the decimal to the left, we're going to add 1 to the exponent. Right, so it's going to be 2.0 or 2 times 10 to the 10th. Okay, so remember that. When it's something that's not in scientific notation and we need to move the decimal, right, because it's not 20 times 10 to the 9th, we have to have one number, then the decimal. Now here we're going to divide. All right, so the bottom number, we're going to do 1.2 into 1.44. Now we need to move the decimal over, so it's 12 into 14.4. Right, 1 goes there, decimal comes up, 12 goes into 24 2 times, remainder of 0. So 1.2, all right, which is the same as this, right? Now, we subtract the exponents when we're dividing. Right, so it's going to be 10 to the 4th power. Again, we don't have to move the decimal because it's already in the right spot. All right, here we're going to put 4 on the outside, 3 on the inside. All right, 4, and again, just like before, we don't need that 0 there. Okay, it's just 3 divided by 4. 4 doesn't go into 3, but 4 goes into 30. Okay, 7 times. 4 goes into 25 times, so 0.75. Now notice how it's not in scientific notation. We're going to subtract the exponents. Right? Now, here we moved it to the left. Here we're going to move it to the right. So 7.5 times 10. And now we're going to subtract 1. So when we move it to the left, we're going to add 1. When we move it to the right, we're going to subtract 1. So 7.5 times 10 to the third power. So make sure that you know this. Write this down. Study these. Okay? All right, now this is a trick one. All right, so 2.5 and the 7.5. Move the decimal over ones, move the decimal over ones. 25 goes into 75 3 times evenly. Okay, so it's 3.0. Now we subtract. Now here's the key here. 6 minus 6 is 0. And we have to put the 0 there. All right, because if we just put 10, we assume that there's a 1 there. All right, and remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. So really this is 3.0 times 1, which is 3.0 or 3. Okay, so when the exponents cancel out the 0, remember to either put a 0 there or just write 3.0 as your answer. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe and like below, and remember to be more awesome.